Welcome, everybody, to Talking Death, Episode 4. We're chugging right along on the final season of Game of Thrones. As always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the mother of content.
Damn right you are. And if you're just lurking out there watching this on Twitch or maybe YouTube, make sure you subscribe over on Twitch. It's really easy. You can actually subscribe right with your Facebook profile, or you can create a new profile. It's free to join, and you can join us in the comments. And we're also going to be doing a lot more fun stuff over here on Twitch. We not only do this show, Talking Death, the final season of Game of Thrones. Last week I did a Talking Death with Chelsea about Avengers Endgame, which was a lot of fun. And we just started a brand new show on Friday with Mike from customer service. We Have Issues, all about comic books.
Yep.
So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff happening. And I see some of you are here. So hello, everybody out in Twitch land. And if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube and Facebook, hello as well.
Hello.
Let's unpack Episode 4, and we're going to start with the death list. And before I even get into that, I just want to give my own gripe away right off the bat. And this is something that has bothered me this entire season and a lot throughout the entire show. I'm sick and tired of not seeing things, of things happening off screen that are important.
Yep. I agree. I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
There's multiples, and we are constantly being told that this is the most highly produced, best show on television, millions of dollars go into every episode, and you want to cut out the most exciting stuff?
Boo.
Yeah. I do want to announce this because I do see the comments popping up in the comments. Last week's episode, we did see Arya defeat the Night King, and as we know, the Night King, by defeating the Night King, everything that he controls is also defeated. Yep. I did not know that my beard was one of those. So after Arya defeated the Night King, my beard fell off. So that's poof. That's how that happened. But let's start it off with the death list, and then we'll unpack what we can from this episode. First and foremost, the death that made everybody sad. Rhaegal the Dragon.
Nowhere.
Okay, you're saying this came out of nowhere?
Yeah, it shocked me. But
really?
I'm just naive.
Here's the deal. I don't understand how we are watching everybody in this show go to war with everybody else, and yet no one understands war.
Yeah.
Like
true.
And some of these people have been in multiple battles and multiple wars, and literally we're getting it to the point where nobody understands anything. Case in point, Daenerys flies both of her dragons to King's Landing to set up the perimeter that they had in place. First of all, has no one ever heard of a scout?
Apparently not.
Second of all, I don't care if you've heard of a scout or not, you're flying freaking dragons.
Right.
Should be flying them high and scouting the entire area. Euron's Iron Fleet
How did she not?
should have not been able to hide from dragons.
No, especially in open water outside, because they were going to Dragonstone at that point, right?
Yes, and then even on top of that, it was set up. This whole scorpion crossbow of doom was set up in season 7, right? We know that it exists. We know that it's out there. They know that it's out there. Daenerys herself knows that it's out there, yet everybody forgot about it. As soon as she was flying there, I said to my wife, I was like, they're going to shoot it. And they did.
Oh.
Because
much quicker than I did.
Well, not only that, they made more of them. They have multiples of them now. They're all on the ships. And I think it's crazy that he hit a dragon, first 3 arrows, hit all 3 times. A moving target from a ship makes no sense. And again, it's fantasy. I get it. But holy crap. Like, that just pissed me off.
Ugh, that was brutal.
And it was brutal. What a brutal death for this dragon to die. And it was very sad because it is Daenerys' kid. But the other thing is this sequence where after that happens, she flies Drogon right at these ships just to turn away and not get hit by any of the arrows. Did that piss you off?
It did, because obviously there's a risk flying into a fleet with all of these arrows, but she got so close that why not just
light them up.
Right.
Right? Like, why are you flying that close? Like, we've watched these characters grow into what we know them now, and it seems like everybody's just making dumb choices.
Exactly.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know if it's like a hype thing, if they're trying to or keep us on our toes or keeping us with the shock factor. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Because here's another layman backseat general move that I can make as someone who's just watching the action unfold. Okay, you got a girl on a dragon, right? And the other dragon just died. And all of these ships that you see are in front of her dragon with crossbows aimed at the dragon. You could go behind the ships.
That's what I was thinking.
And light them on fire.
It's not like those bad boys have a good turn radius, I'm sure.
Why? I just bothers me that happened. It also bothers me that Jon will never get to ride a dragon again.
Very true.
Because he said he didn't want to. I liked that line when he was just like, "I'm gonna ride a horse because I don't want to burden Rhaegar with me because he's trying to heal." And it's like, dude, you're a flea.
Seriously.
Like
even Tormund made that.
Yeah, it's like you're not. That's not gonna bother him at all. But the death totally bothered me. The other death that bothered me and the entirety of the internet and all of the fans was, of course, Missandei.
That was sad.
Very sad.
So sad. And
Very
Grey
sad.
Worm.
Very, 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 very sad. Okay, your microphone's a little low again.
Uh-oh.
So I didn't see this coming, and the other thing that really kind of pissed me off about it was, did you think it was really convenient that she just got captured?
Right, like where or how did Euron's fleet manage to catch her while giant crossbows are being fired? Unless they pulled her from the water?
Grey Worm said, get to the skiff. Okay, fine. How did his fleet get her when they were all the way over there, and yet everybody's ships got destroyed and they didn't get anybody else?
I don't know. That's why I'm wondering if she went overboard and couldn't swim to shore. I don't know.
And then also, they get her as a prisoner. Cersei's got to know who she is. She's seen her at Dany's side, you know? Like, she's seen who this person is. So why only use her as a death bargaining chip? Why not try to torture the shit out of her and get information or whatever?
Because I think, as we just said, these characters are making dumb mistakes on this show, and I think Cersei didn't see that in her. I was just being hateful.
I'm very, very sad that they killed this character, because out of the two of them, her and Grey Worm, I think Grey Worm should have been the one to die.
Me too, which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Right.
And now this really just leads us into it being utilized to make these two characters angry. Grey Worm has worked so hard to become a human, you know, like, I mean, he was only the soldier forever, and Dany and Missandei kind of like helped that out. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Where does this fit into the story we've been watching? Why do we get Missandei and this character only to kill her? Did you think that was a good ending for her character?
I don't think it was a good ending for her character necessarily. I think it's going to send Daenerys over the edge, because who's been more loyal by her side than Missandei, you know? I don't think there's anyone who's been more loyal by her. So I think that's one way for Cersei to kind of show that power move with Daenerys. And I think this is going to send Dany kind of down a Mad Queen kind of path.
We're definitely getting the Mad Queen era, and I mean, they've been kind of throwing that at our faces, and that's cool, I guess, but it's really been taking a long time, and I'm not really sure I agree with it. The other term that's been being thrown around on the internet that I thought was really funny is the term fridging, and you probably don't know this term. This comes from comic books. The term fridging means that you kill a woman character in a story to further the male's hero journey. And I can totally understand that's why they're getting this. This term comes from a tie into Death Wish Coffee, a story that Ron Mars wrote for Green Lantern. It was called Emerald Twilight, and the term fridging was coined from this story because the new Green Lantern at the time, Kyle Rayner, was introduced along with his girlfriend, Alexandra DeWitt. Mm-hmm. You're introduced to these characters, I believe, in issue 48 of Green Lantern. By issue 53, the main bad guy at the time, who was trying to get at Green Lantern, brutally murdered his girlfriend and stuck her in his fridge. And so he found that out, and then that fueled him to become angrier and go after the guy and continue on his hero's journey. This has happened throughout fantasy and sci-fi and all that stuff. Biggest examples are Anakin Skywalker losing Padme.
Yeah.
And what's the one I'm losing? Severus Snape losing.
Oh, Lily. Yep.
Lily Potter. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, you know, you're getting this trope, but was it necessary at this moment? We're already seeing Dany get fractured. We're, from her core group, we're already seeing these kind of things happening. Did it matter that Missandei got caught and then executed? I don't see the reasoning behind it from a writing standpoint.
Right.
I don't think we should have lost the character that way. I just think it was kind of bad form. Also, there's this moment where Euron looks at Cersei as Tyrion, as he's giving his Hail Mary speech, let's just parlay.
One more time, yeah.
Let's try to, everybody live through this moment. He says, do it for your baby. And they cut to Euron looking at Cersei like this because Euron just found out.
Right.
Which he thinks it's his. So do you think this is going to have ramifications next week?
Oh, definitely. 'Cause I don't think Euron is stupid in that regard. And when's the last time he knows that Tyrion and Cersei have communicated?
Right.
It was pre Euron and Cersei. So
when
maybe
they were there.
Yeah. So maybe there will be some. I hope there's some ramifications for that. I would love to see.
I hope so too, because when Euron was introduced, when we first got him and he threw the father of the Iron Islands off the bridge and all that stuff, I was like, ooh, this dude's a pirate. He's pretty badass, and I'm excited to see where his character arc's going to go. He hasn't had one.
No.
He's basically just like, oh, Euron shows up.
And he's basically like the crazy guy who shows up, fires some shit, and then leaves.
So I don't really care about Euron at all. I'd like to care, but he's just that pirate that's just kind of, oh, you need somebody to fire a bolt, or you need somebody to show up with ships, or whatever. I don't really care about him. So I don't know if I'm going to care when he dies or if he dies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could go either way. Just I feel about him.
But yeah, I thought that was probably the best part of that was Tyrion pleading with his sister and then just
her not budging at all.
Cersei won't do what she's told.
Never.
She is a young girl. She's just a little girl always, and it's like if you tell Cersei don't do that,
she does it. Yeah,
turn around and do it. So that was the problem, unfortunately. The only other major death in the show was probably the set designer. I don't know if you've seen this photo that's been going around the internet. This is an actual still from the show last night, and that is an actual coffee cup in front of Daenerys there on set. And I can only imagine that the set designer or the editor has been sacked.
Or just really yelled at.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it was filled with Death Wish coffee.
I do too. That'd be great.
Maybe. You never know. We do fuel a lot of the film industry, so
we should get on that.
There is a chance. But I did think that was funny. And that's a shame because that's a very important part of the show, of that moment. And you'd think that they'd be pouring over it in editing. That's
what I thought, because that was a pretty pivotal moment in the episode last night for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The whole feast, which we're going to get into right now. Speaking on the feast. Now, I understand why we needed to see this. You just got through the battle. Obviously, the one thing you're going to want to do is celebrate that you're still alive and get drunk. That's what you do. I get it, But did anyone else get the feeling that they were watching like the end of a romantic comedy? Did you get that at all? Like everybody's kind of hooking up or breaking up?
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't get like a rom-com feeling out of it, but I did think it was weird that we go from this super morose scene of them being all sad, saying goodbye to the loved ones they lost, to like hooking up with each other and being like, ooh, let's get drunk. Like I get you want to celebrate that you're alive and you want to move on. But at the same time, like I felt like they could have chilled a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait?
No, I have
Okay,
not. I don't get the reference.
Can't Hardly Wait is a movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar, or not Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, I think Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Seth Green, and a bunch of other people. And it's literally a party they have at the end of high school. Everybody's going off to college, and it's the final party at the end of high school. And it plays out like this feast. Everybody either hooks up or breaks up, or, heroes are made or broken. And it's like, I don't understand why we spent so much time on here. Again, there was some cool stuff to unpack, I guess, but I just felt like we've gotten a lot of that already. Get to the damn end of the show.
That's what I thought so too. It's like a filler again.
We're getting way too much of just dragging our feet on this show. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys disagree. But one of the things that happened a lot in this feast was what wasn't said.
Yeah.
People looking at each other, the glances that were kind of, stolen from one another. And one of the biggest ones was this: when Arya stood up after she gave Gendry his title, and she stood up and, praised Jon and praised Arya. Dany stood up, sorry if I said Arya. And praised Arya. It cut to Sansa, and everybody's standing up except for her.
Yeah.
And she kind of gave her a side eye and left.
I was like, my girl. I was very proud of Sansa. I'm just so over Daenerys at this point.
Which is a shame.
I know.
We've been built up from this character who was this poor, scared little girl who was sold into a marriage that she didn't want to be in.
Right.
Brutally raped, and then obviously given this incredible power, these dragons and stuff like that, but has had a lot of hardship throughout all of that, to the point where we've seen her now as this hero, this heroine who's like, I want this. Oh, my only reasoning is to get this throne, to reinstate my family.
Right.
Yet now I feel the same way. I'm like, screw this bitch.
Yeah. She's turning into what seems like her father.
Yeah.
To me. And I think that.
I do think she's going to turn into the Mad Queen. I saw that comment on Twitch, actually.
And I just think Sansa's doing what she can to protect the North. Like we've talked about in previous episodes past, or previous shows past on this show, with. Sansa's gone through so much. She's seen the North being taken away from her family. She's seen her family being taken away from her. I don't blame her for wanting to make sure that the North is still going to be, the North.
It's true. And I got a question for you, actually, because I don't care that much about Daenerys anymore. Jon has not proven himself to be a worthy ruler at all.
That was another part of the episode. Everyone's like, oh, like, Jon's our king. Jon's our king. And I'm like,
Not really. Sansa has turned out to be a cold-hearted bitch. Like she is the product of Cersei and Littlefinger to a T.
Yeah.
And the rest of these characters, is there a hero? Is there anyone on this show worth rooting for that's like good?
I know. And I don't know if that's what the writers are trying to get with us. Like there's no real true hero in the midst of all these characters. It's kind of a toss up right now because you have, positive, aspects of Sansa and of Jon and of Daenerys. And it's like there's little pieces of it, but not enough to be a ruler, I think.
I don't understand. I don't understand where the show has gone with these characters. I feel like we've invested a lot of time seeing a lot of these arcs now just get dashed upon the rocks. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to that as we keep going, too. One of the things I did want to mention, outside of Sansa and her side-eye to Dany, she also gave a side-eye to Tyrion, kind of being like, why are you sniffing her farts kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
And I did, oh yeah, Ryan says on Twitch, Samwell Tarly. Yep, Samwell should rule it all. He's the only moral good left in this show, for
Seriously.
sure. But the other thing was when Dany names Gendry the Lord of Storm's End. I think that's very fitting, very rewarding for this character who not only was a hero in his own right, but made all of the weapons for the battle.
Yeah.
And kept a lot of people alive. But it's a very smart political play.
I agree.
Because she knows,
which she said.
She knows damn well he's the Baratheon son, and don't go after my throne.
Yep.
Because I think that's her biggest problem with Jon right now.
She's scared he's gonna go after the throne.
I don't know. We've said this before. there's 2 episodes left, and we've said this before. In the immortal words of Ramsay Bolton, if you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Exactly.
So I think, we're going to get a lot of stuff. But the other thing about Gendry is he has that wonderful moment with the Hound, and where he's looking for Arya, and good for him. The Hound says it the best. What was the quote? Of course it's about that, you twat. The dead's dead and you're not. Like, of course you're thinking about that.
Exactly.
And that's great. But it does show that Gendry, like a lot of people, have not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Because he goes over to Arya and is basically like,
marry
me and be my lady. And she's like, that's not me. That's never been me. That's a throwback to her talking to Nymeria. That's a throwback to season 1, her talking to her dad.
Yeah.
When Ned was like, you're going to be the lady someday. And
she's like, hell no.
Nope. Not happening. So I thought that was a really cool moment of him kind of losing his mind and her just being like, sorry. Like,
right.
It was really cool to like love on you for a minute, but I don't think she's gonna live.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
I don't think she's
I'd be surprised.
I'd be very, very, very.
Just because she, like we talked last week, she already had her big hero moment, I think.
Yeah.
With the Night King, and we shall see.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay, so we did also in the feast get the moment of Jaime and Brienne, having that drinking game. Yay for Tyrion for making that happen.
Throwback to what season when they were playing it with?
Yeah.
With Shay. I can't remember what season.
6, season 5. But we finally got this. Did that make you happy? I don't know. Did that make you happy? Like,
no.
Finally getting them to hook up?
Not really. At first I was like all about it, but then I was kind of like, I felt like it was kind of forced. I don't know. I loved their friendship.
I'm hearing the same thing on Twitch, that it felt forced.
Right. Like, I loved their friendship, but like emphasis on the word friendship.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was just kind of weird.
I felt like we got it because we wanted it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that shouldn't have been it. Again, one of them should have died in Winterfell, or both of them should have died in Winterfell. And the biggest problem for me, again, is these character arcs getting thrown out the window, because this moment right here was gut-wrenching and completely off character. This might be the last time we ever see Brienne.
I hope it's not, because I don't want to remember her that way. I didn't hate her crying. I thought it was like a good way for her to show some humility. Like, we've never really seen, besides when she was like happy crying when she got knighted.
Right.
When we saw some tears there.
Right.
She always has this tough persona, and she's a knight, and she's tough, and she's not going to show any emotion. So I thought it was good to show how much Jaime does mean to her.
Yeah.
But it was very out of character at the same time.
And also, let's talk about Jaime leaving real quick.
What the hell?
How does that even make sense? Because he's leaving because he's saying he's as irredeemable as his sister, and he's done everything for his sister. And the only reason that his idea changed is because he found out that she turned the tables, killed a dragon, killed Missandei, and now seems to have the upper hand, and he's going to go save her or kill her.
Yeah.
They were literally marching there to kill her or to get her off the throne.
Right.
How did he not want to save her or do anything about that at that point? Like, why did he just have this change of heart, basically break Brienne's heart and leave? And then we get both of their characters to just not mesh from what we've seen in the last few seasons.
I know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It reminded me of just like, a stupid college boy, like breaking up with a girlfriend, sleeping with someone else, then being like, just kidding, I'm going back. Yeah. And I was like, this is dumb.
It's super dumb. And I as much as from a fan service moment, it was nice to see these characters get together and all of the different things that happened out of that, but to see it left like that, and again, and I'm going to get to that, but this could be the final time we see Brienne or a lot of these characters, and it's like, that will suck if that's the final taste that's left in our mouth.
Same with Tormund, too.
And we'll get there. I do want to go to back to Sansa. Yeah. This moment she had with the Hound was good, but did not need to be told to us from this character. And let me unpack this. She has this really touching moment with the Hound, a person that she was fearful of as a child. he calls her little bird, and she basically says to him, if I had went with you in season 2 when he wanted to take her away after the Battle of Blackwater, she would have never experienced Ramsay. She would have never experienced these terrible things that happened. Littlefinger, these terrible things that happened to her, and thus making her the person that she is. And she would have always been that little bird. That is something, as fans of the show, that we should have inferred. For her to say that to me, excuse me, but that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, she's basically being like, I'm glad I got raped because I'm a stronger person now. And that did not sit right with me. I think as a fan, as someone from the outside, we can infer that about her character. We can go, oh, Sansa is this badass cold bitch right now because of all the terrible shit she's went through.
Right.
And we can make that assumption. But to come from her, I don't know. I don't know how that made you feel, but that did not make me feel good at all.
Yeah, I didn't feel that as much. I thought it was her kind of showing her resilience, because I think what I inferred from that is the Hound felt very guilty sitting across from Sansa, like saying, like, I should have taken you with me, essentially. And I think in a way she was trying to make the Hound feel a little bit better because, all these terrible things happened to her, but here she is now. So I don't know if that's just her showing, like, her part of her healing process, like she's gotten through it, but I could totally see why you would feel that way.
It did not sit. There's a lot of stuff from last night that just didn't sit right from a character perspective. This was episode 71, so we've spent the better part of 71 hours with these characters, and I feel like I'm being cheated as a fan. I feel like these characters are not coalescing at the end of their story like they should be. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a little jaded on the whole thing. I don't know. But speaking of jaded, another right off of that was Dany and Jon finally talked. She seems okay with the whole incest thing because that's her family. He's really not.
Yeah.
But it's more about the throne. And you know what? She was frickin' right. Jon should keep his mouth shut and if he really wants to bend the knee to her and she's her queen and all this stuff, then keep your mouth shut. You remember when Jon's character was precocious and this kid who really didn't know a lot about his stuff, and he went over the wall and he had to lie to Mance Rayder,
right? And
had to keep that, like, he literally killed the guy to prove that he was part of the team, even though none of that was reality. Right. Where's that Jon Snow right now?
I don't know.
Like, why are we getting this person who's like, I have to tell Sansa and Arya?
I have no idea. As soon as he told them, though, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, and that's the biggest reveal, is this reveal of him standing there. And Bran looked at him and said, it's your choice.
He also looked kind of like, oh, shit. Like,
yeah,
you're doing this?
Bran wouldn't have said anything.
That's what I'm saying. He was like,
It was his choice to say it or not, and he did. And it's the dumbest thing Jon could have ever done. Why? What possible good is going to come from that other than on your conscience? And even on your conscience, you're telling Sansa, who is the de facto ruler of the North at this point,
right? And
you're telling Arya, who doesn't really care about politics or any of that crap. How does that strengthen the bond in your family by telling them that you're really not part of their family?
I don't know. It's just a moment of weakness, and I hated that we didn't get to see the stupid reaction.
That's one of my biggest problems.
I was like, what?
How can we be building up to that moment and they cut away from that conversation? Why?
I was like, are you kidding? Yeah.
Why we want to know what Sansa and Arya felt when they heard that news for the first time.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Bran.
Because I feel like there were probably some strong reactions out of that. 1, how long did you know?
Yeah.
2, why are we still bending the knee to Daenerys? I think that would have been the reaction from Sansa, being like, which we saw, kind of like, screw you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, that leads me into, not there, here, on the wall. Again, the new Rose Garden is the wall. And everybody has their major conversations right up here on the wall. But on the wall, Sansa looks to Tyrion and tells him what's going on. And that, 100%, is Littlefinger in her ear.
Yeah.
Because she learned that from Littlefinger. She knows damn well telling Tyrion what that's going to do.
Yep.
You know, and it wasn't just confiding in him. It was like, if I tell Tyrion, he'll tell Varys, and then it'll be everywhere.
Exactly. As soon as Tyrion told Varys too, I was like, words out. Everyone knows.
And Varys said it the greatest. He was like, okay, so there's a handful of us now who know it. It's not a secret anymore. It's information.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
What he deals in is information. And I can't believe how that all went down, because you really, for all the times that we're not rooting for Dany, I was rooting for her in that moment. She's begging Jon. We've never seen her beg for anything.
Yeah.
She's begging Jon to keep things that way, and he could have made that happen, but instead he's going to spiral. That's going to make her be the Mad Queen as much as killing her dragon is.
Yeah. And yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? But what about this scene when Tyrion and you can knock it real.
Knock it. Sorry, technical difficulty.
Yeah, we're still dialing this in on Twitch Live here. But this scene right here, Tyrion and Varys talking about treason.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was the most important scene of the entire show, because Varys basically put his cards on the table and was like, you know where my loyalties lie.
Right.
They lie to the throne. It's
Exactly.
not about the person on the throne. It's the throne itself. And I think when it really comes down to it next episode, Varys is going to be a catalyst that's going to make some people turn.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Especially if he's got Dany's ear, because I don't think Dany's very happy with Tyrion after that whole Hail Mary play.
I don't think so either, 'cause I don't think she really knew what he was doing.
No, I don't think so either. And but I think that's going to have a lot of ramifications going into this next episode. And this scene, again, is probably the second most important scene, is Tyrion pleading with his sister, trying to make this happen. It doesn't happen. And when he turns back and looks at Daenerys and she's just fuming, I wonder if she's really mad at him.
Right.
If not just mad at Cersei.
Yeah. Do you think, Dany's gonna blame Tyrion for Missandei dying?
Maybe.
Or do you think Cersei would have done it regardless? I don't know. I could see her being like, "This is your fault."
I don't know. There's a lot to unpack from this episode, and I feel like even though there's a lot there, a lot didn't happen. And a lot didn't happen even the way that we're expecting it to, but would have liked to have seen it from these characters. Now, maybe everything's going to get wrapped up in a nice bow in these last two episodes. And I was actually just saying to my mother today that I can't wait for sometime in the future to rewatch the entire series front to back again, see if I feel the same way. Because we're dealing with this in real time. You're with us. We're all dealing with this in real time. But I don't know. So some of the last thoughts I had on this, one of the sequences I didn't talk about was this. The funeral pyre sequence.
Yeah.
Again, incredible opening. Incredible special effects. Definitely watch all the behind-the-scenes stuff if you don't do that on HBO. And probably one of the best speeches from Jon ever.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
It was really, really good. It made you feel like he could lead, but he still sucks at it.
Yeah.
But it was a great sequence nonetheless. And then speaking of Arya, this sequence of Arya and the Hound riding off together to kind of cross the names off their list.
Yeah. TBT.
This will be the best part of the final the two episodes. It will be finally getting Clegane Bowl, which how do you think that's going to end? Give me your prediction. Do you think the Hound will beat the Mountain will beat the Hound, or they'll kill each other?
I would love for the Hound to beat the Mountain, but I could see them both dying.
I think they're both going to die.
Right.
Yeah. And we got a zombie Mountain. We have a living for nothing now Hound.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just want to let that happen. Another thing I wanted to get your thoughts on, Bronn showing up.
This
we talked
whole
about
scene, oh my God, I was like, put the crossbow down. It was making
were
me
you
so
afraid?
nervous. I was.
Who'd you think he was going to kill?
Jamie.
You thought he was going to kill Jamie?
Yeah. Because I think Tyrion knows how to talk to him, but
Yeah.
Jamie was just like chirping, and I was like, this is not the time to quip. Like,
I was
say stupid shit, which he was doing both.
I was surprised he showed up out of the blue. Not really surprised that he was going to kill him, because he was, promised exactly what he wants, which is a castle.
Right.
But why does he believe Tyrion as much as he doesn't believe Cersei? Why does he believe that Tyrion's going to give him Highgarden?
I don't know.
How does Tyrion have that ability?
I don't know.
He's saying if Dany becomes queen, he'll be the hand. He'll be able to make that happen. But it's a lot of ifs,
Right.
especially for a sellsword like Bronn.
And I think at the end of the day, I think Bronn trusts Tyrion over Cersei.
He did say, "Come find me when the war is over." Is that the last time we're going to see Bronn?
Yeah.
Underutilized character then. Like
Yeah.
after everything we saw with him with the loot train debacle in season 7, and him fighting for these people and fighting with Jaime, fighting with Tyrion, all the things we've seen Bronn do, and now he just shows up and he's like, "Later, I'll be back here in the shadows."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. And I agree with this comment on Twitch from Ryan too. He just walked into Winterfell and nobody stopped him.
Yeah, like
he's
the
not a
gates just
spy.
open now
Yeah,
with a crossbow.
yeah, he's not a spy. I mean, he's good at his job, but he's not gonna just. I don't know how that's gonna happen. What's gonna happen when Jon and Davos show up? Is that gonna matter now that they're showing up with the rest of the army? Why did Dany show up with the smallest army ever?
I don't know. I was like, this is one way to get the rest of your already minuscule army killed.
If it was real life, Cersei would have been standing there 60 feet in the air with all those crossbows and all those archers trained at that handful of people and would have just been like, fire.
Yeah.
And then everybody's dead and it's like, I win.
I don't know why Dany thought that was a good... Again, no one knows strategy, apparently.
Nobody knows their strategy, and I don't get it. I just don't freaking get it. The other question I have, obviously the question that everybody has is Dany going to turn into the Mad Queen? Yes.
I
yes,
agree,
it's going to happen. Yes, we're getting it. It's been shown now multiple times that she's losing her way. People aren't on her side. All she wants is the throne. She's still this young little girl who just wants her throne. That's it. Yes, we're going to get her trying to burn everybody to the ground. Whether or not that's going to matter is another story. Who knows? John's probably going to hurt her on that. I don't know how that's going to happen. My biggest thing is with Arya. Arya has been created as this character now who's almost unstoppable. She killed the Night King. She has this incredible power set. And one of her powers is the Faceless Man power.
Yeah.
Which we've not really seen her use in the last couple seasons. Do you think we're going to finally get her? Do you think she's going to show up as like Qyburn or
I would love to see that.
Right? Or Littlefinger?
Or someone as Littlefinger, oh my God.
Like, who knows that Littlefinger's dead?
Yeah.
Did they like announce that Littlefinger's dead?
Yeah. Maybe she did take his face after she killed him.
As much as Cersei knows, she could think that Littlefinger's still alive.
Yeah.
And if we see Littlefinger show up, we'll know damn well it's Arya.
Exactly.
Because she slit his throat, made sure she didn't hit his face.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I don't know how we're going to see that. There's probably going to be a lot of turning sides. What else do I have here? A lot of turning sides, a lot of things going to go down. You mentioned that you heard on the internet, and I've heard it a couple times too, that this next episode is supposed to rival the Red Wedding.
Yeah, which... Ugh.
And the Red Wedding was one of the worst in the show's history. This sneer from Cersei at the end of the episode. Lena Headey, I cannot say enough good things about this actress. She just with a single sneer, it can just be like, send a chill down my spine.
Yeah, after beheading someone, too.
She is so evil. She's definitely going to get her comeuppance. I just wonder how. There's so many people gunning for her right now.
I know.
Who gets to kill her? Who gets that killing blow?
I know.
I don't know. The final thing I wanted to talk about before we give our predictions for next week, the goodbyes.
Yep.
We got Jon saying goodbye to Tormund, which was sad. Probably the last time we see Tormund. He's going across the wall.
That makes me sad.
We got the goodbye to Sam and Gilly and the reveal that Gilly's pregnant. Who cares? Right? Who cares?
Where's little Sam in this scene, by the way? Is he just running around somewhere?
He's just running around somewhere. But that's probably the last time we're going to see those characters if we don't get a time jump at the end of the series. And the goodbye for Ghost. Did anybody else get pissed off about the way they're utilizing this character?
It's just so random.
We were told we were going to get so much more Ghost this season, and we didn't. And they were such a integral part when the kids found the puppies and they all had the puppies and each of them kind of imprinted onto a different Stark child, and we've seen them grow through their journey, and Ghost is the last one. I know Nymeria is out there, but Ghost is this last one that's there. And yet all we get is this goodbye. And Ghost gave his all. He's lost an ear. He's bloody.
Yeah.
And Jon loves this dog. In fact, if you're a fan of the books, when Jon is killed by the Night's Watch and stabbed to death, in the books, his final thoughts are of Ghost. Those are his final thoughts before he's brought back. And even in the show, when he's brought back, Ghost is protecting his body.
Yeah.
And all we get is a nod.
I know, not
from
even a
Jon.
pet or a hug. I was like, rude.
Not like a thank you.
Yeah.
And, and those are the only goodbyes we got. Arya apparently is riding off into the sunset with the Hound. She just, met up with her family. We don't get a goodbye. Her and Sansa saying goodbye, or her and Jon.
Yeah, did she sneak out, you think? Or do you think she told him she was leaving?
We don't get a goodbye for Gendry at all.
No.
Like, he's just out in the wind after not like getting that. And you're right, Twitch. JJJ says that we don't know that Ghost won't be back. You're right. Anything can happen. It is Game of Thrones, but we're led to believe that he's going across the wall with Tormund. We're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Out of all the goodbyes we got, I felt the ones we got were kind of lame. And it really bothers me the way they're dealing with Ghost as a character. As much as we've gotten accustomed to Dany and her dragons, we've gotten accustomed to Jon and Ghost.
Yeah.
And we were getting nothing out of that. And I just don't know. So at the end here, I wanted to take a second. First, I'm going to say what I've been saying this entire season. Fuck Bran. I'm so sick of Bran. Go start an emo band somewhere and just shut up. Who cares about the three? They made the Three-Eyed Raven be this incredibly powerful, important thing when Max von Sydow was playing him as the tree when we met him with the children and all that stuff. And now that Bran's a Three-Eyed Raven, it's like, who cares? Who cares?
It's so underutilized.
Ugh, it just doesn't matter. So I don't care about Bran. I hope he dies. Not Isaac. I like the actor.
Yeah.
I hope, but Bran, the character, I hope he dies. Next week is episode 5 of 6. That means it's the penultimate episode of the season. We know that the second to last episode is always the doozy. That's the Red Wedding. That's the Battle of Blackwater. That's the Battle of the Bastards. It's always the one. It's even the one, the Mountain and the Viper was the 9th episode.
Yeah, oof.
Like, it's always the worst episode. So, I want to hear your predictions.
Man,
who do you think's going to live? Who do you think's going to die?
I couldn't even tell you. I think we're going to see Jaime and Cersei reunite, whether that's a good reunion or a bad reunion.
He is the Kingslayer.
Yeah. So maybe I couldn't tell by his goodbye to Brienne if he was going to stand up for Cersei, if he was going to end Cersei.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a little ambiguous. So.
Right. As far as deaths go, I think this is going to be the episode where we see some major deaths now. Since we didn't get that from the Battle of Winterfell, I think Grey Worm's gone.
Grey Worm's going to totally die.
I think he's going to go right for Cersei's throat.
Yeah, he's going to try, but he's going to get killed.
Right. I don't know how Arya and the Hound are going to show up in this, or if they do, maybe they come back in the finale.
Maybe.
If they're traveling. I don't know if that's going to be a separate storyline. I think Dany's going to go full Mad Queen next
full Mad
episode.
Queen. Burn the entire city, which is going to make people mad at her. Probably have Jon switch sides and try to fight her. Tyrion. I thought Tyrion was going to die by his sister's hand.
Yeah, Mayo. Now that everyone is basically the word's out about Jon.
Yep. I think Varys is going to die. I think Varys is going to try to sway Dany. Yeah, and he's going to get found out and is going to die for it. I think I hope Qyburn's going to die. That dude sucks.
I hate that guy.
And I hope he gets his comeuppance. And I think next episode, I think we're going to get the death of Cersei. I do.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be at least one major death between Dany, Jon, and Cersei. One of them has to go.
Yeah. I think they're setting it up like we not supposed to feel who's gonna win the throne. My pick now, even though I don't want it to be, my pick is Jon.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Jon's gonna get the throne. Although the way that Westeros works, if Jon and Dany die, it's now known by everyone that Gendry is Baratheon's son.
That is true. That could come out.
So he would get the throne if there's nobody left to be there. And there are people out there that are wild cards. Yara, and everybody at the Iron Islands.
I think we're going to see them next episode,
Bronn
too.
might show up. Euron and his whole fleet.
Ugh.
Next episode's going to be crazy. Oh, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if you are feeling the same kind of lackadaisical anger that I have for the season. I don't want this to turn into the final season of a show where we weigh it against everything. And I feel like we're getting there. I understand. I want to just end on this. I understand that we spend so much time with these characters that we need to spend time with them at the end here. We need to see a lot of their stories kind of come together, and we need these moments when we can have them, because that's one of the greatest things Game of Thrones did. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's brutal. Sure, there's tons of gore and death and crazy stuff that happens on this show, fantastical, magical, dragon stuff. But at the core of this show, it creates incredible characters, and the relationships between these characters is what keeps us tuning in every year.
Right.
So I get that, but I feel that this final season, I personally don't feel like the writing is at the same level as we've gotten in seasons past. Do you agree?
Right. I feel like it hasn't been as intense as previous seasons. Like, I think there's just been a lot of fan service in this season. I don't know if it's because we waited so long between seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like the rest of the season just went so quick, and this one is just like dragging.
Yeah. I'm very curious, and I wonder what you guys think too. And I wonder if, let me pose this to you as our final question. At the end of next episode, will we know who won the Game of Thrones, or do you think that will happen in the final episode?
I think it's going to happen in the final scene.
Final episode.
I think so. I think you've talked about this. Final scene is someone sitting on the Iron Throne. I don't think that's a bad prediction.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a perfect way to end the show, in my opinion. But
I like that too, because I kind of extrapolate down that, and I think next week's episode will end with someone on the throne. But that someone will not be the person on the throne in the final scene of the final episode.
I could see that too.
I think because we get one more episode, and I think there's got to be one or two extra things that happen, to keep us interested in that final episode.
Are both of these last two episodes over an hour?
I've heard that, yeah. But I mean, we were supposed to have all the episodes over an hour.
Yeah, so I don't know, because it's gonna be interesting to see how much there's to unpack.
There's going to be a lot to unpack, so I thank you all for tuning in live.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
Talking Death. And if you're watching this as a replay, I thank you for watching this as a replay. Make sure you go on over to twitch.tv/deathwishcoffee and make a free profile on Twitch and sign up, and we can see you in the comments. Speaking of the comments, I just saw this pop up that the last two are 78 and 79 minutes.
There we go.
We did get that confirmation. And I did see a lot of these. I would just want to say I saw a lot of you in the comments hearkening this show to terrible endings of some of your favorite shows like Lost and The Sopranos and stuff like that.
No.
And we really don't want that to happen. How I Met Your Mother. These shows that were so good at the time, but now are only talked about because of that final season.
Yeah.
Because of that final episode not giving us what we really wanted. So hopefully we get that. Hopefully next week makes it crazy and everybody goes back true to form. That's my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe is that I feel like these characters I'm invested in are not being true to the character that I know them to be.
That's fair.
And I hope that changes. So we'll be back next week, next Monday, with Talking Death, episode 5. And thanks so much for watching, guys.
Bye.